From the studios of KENW on the campus of Eastern New Mexico University, it's You Should Know, featuring the people and events of Eastern New Mexico and West Texas.
Welcome to You Should Know. I'm your host, Evelyn Ledbetter, and today my guest is Charity Darkwa. She's an international student attending Eastern New Mexico University. Charity, so nice to have you today.
I'm happy to be here today.
Well, you've worked here on the set for several months and gotten to know you, so you have a really cool story, and just love that you were willing to come and be in front of the camera instead of behind it.
It's my pleasure, I should say. Yeah.
Well, let's just dig in. Tell me a little bit about yourself and your background. So, obviously not from the United States.
Okay.
You're a little bit far away.
Very far away.
So, home for you is where?
I was born and bred in Ghana, West Africa, where I had my primary, high school, undergraduate studies. And I come from a family of six children. I'm the last of 6 children. And yeah, I mean...
Well, you told me that extended family is a really large part of life in Ghana.
Yes. So it's more like part of our tradition. You know, life in Ghana feels like, I want to liken it to an experience in nature. The liveliness, the warmth, the softness. That's how it feels. So we have our extended family system where you don't only have your parents, you don't only have your siblings, but you have your aunts, your uncles, your great-grandparents, even friends end up becoming part of the family. And there's always someone around, lots of people to see. And it extends beyond your family because we are more grounded in community, respect for elders, respect for one another, looking out for one another. So you go out there and there's life all around you because there are people, there are things they are doing, and there's life everywhere.
That's life, the people in an in-person interaction, not just on a phone or something like that. You need that closeness with people.
Yeah, you can always walk out and just go to whoever you want to see or want to talk to. You don't necessarily have to get them on the phone, even though it is a medium, but we prefer more of personal, in-person interactions. So that's more like the culture in Ghana.
So if you have a celebration, how many people would be there that's family?
People do not need invites to come. It just goes out there and everybody's coming because your mother's friend, your father's friend, your aunt's friend, your uncle's friend. Everybody's inviting someone.
So how many do you wind up there? 100?
As many that are willing to come.
Oh,
you can
so
come.
It's a party.
It is a party.
So very different to come to the U.S. and be on your own.
Yes.
So a close-knit with your family growing up.
With my family, I have prominent parents. They are known because my father is a building contractor. My mother is a businesswoman. She sells some of these fabrics, amongst other things. And then we have the extended family. My mom's mother and my mom's mother's mother, my mom's. So, and the same thing on my father's side. So there were lots and lots of people around me growing up. And with my siblings, I have 5 elderly siblings. I'm the last of them. So we have a nurse, we have an accountant, we have another businesswoman, and I have 2 brothers who are taking after my dad. So they are also into building and construction. And that, yeah.
So you've gotten busy and all going somewhere and getting something done.
Yes.
That's cool. And talk about, there's several different, the religions in Ghana. The basics, what are the religions there?
Okay, so most of the people, a greater number of the population are Christians, and then we have Islam, which comes as the second dominating religion in Ghana, amongst other traditional practices, but a great number of the population are Christians, of which I am a Christian, born into a Christian home. And with the different ethnic groups, we have a blend of traditional and modern influences with our rich and vibrant culture. So the different ethnic groups have their different practices. And you won't believe that with this that I'm wearing, a different ethnic group will have something similar, but very different which suits their culture, or
Okay.
which makes them distinct, different. So we can even differentiate ourselves based on our clothing.
You
So,
can tell from what region that you're
yes,
from
yes,
on
based
the
on
style of the
your
dress.
fabric, your style, exactly.
So somewhat like in the West, here in the U.S., you may see cowboy boots and hats, whereas you're not going to see that in New York City.
No, no.
So,
Yeah.
but and the clothing is beautiful, and the vibrant colors and the tapestry is
Yeah.
just amazing.
Beautiful. It's breathtaking. It's just wow.
Yeah, it's just a pop and just absolutely
Yeah.
beautiful. And then also talk a little bit about the education system in the early years.
Okay, so usually with our system in Ghana, I've been fascinated by the US system of education. And in Ghana, children, I'm saying children because I'm from the early years, you stay with your parents, you have your elementary education from crèche, kindergarten, what you call grade 1, we call it primary 1, primary
Okay.
2, till junior high school. So usually throughout this period, you are with your parents.
And you start when you're 4 years old, correct? Typically, kind of
Yes,
a couple of years of kindergarten.
Yeah,
type
but we
school.
don't usually use age. Once you start walking and you can talk and say a few words, we are taking you to school.
Oh,
Yes.
you're getting busy right there.
Yes, you have to go to school. So aside that, what you say high school, we say senior high school. So that is where you learn to leave home, because most of these high schools in Ghana are boarding facilities. So you leave home, you go to the boarding facilities, and then they start grooming you, nurturing you to become independent, to learn how to live on your own, to learn how to depend on yourself, even though there are teachers, caretakers who are going to see to it that you are doing the right things, learning how to live with other people, learning how to tolerate, respect, work with other people, teamwork. We learn all that there, learning how to communicate. You learn how to make conversations with one another, because how are you going to tell someone to get off your bed when you don't know how to talk to them? Because it's like that.
Right.
So you go to the boarding schools for 3 years.
When do you typically leave and go to the boarding schools?
Usually I have not really looked into the age range, but
Okay.
it's from 15, 16.
Do you remember how old you were when you left?
No, I think I was 13, 14
So
by
pretty
then.
young.
So pretty young.
What would be a junior high kiddo here?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So once you can speak and then you are making it, you are good, getting the grades, you should be going for it. So
And it's something you look forward to, right?
you look forward to.
It's not-
It's more like a tradition, a culture. You know that right from junior high school, you're going to senior high school, and then you are going to be an undergrad. So right from high school, even though there are disparities between those in the urban areas and those in rural areas, you don't usually get most of those in the rural areas going to the universities, but you have.
So the rural areas typically tend to stay more in agriculture and things
Yes,
like that
they stay
versus
back
the
home.
urban areas.
Yeah, venture into vocational training. They would want to go more of that way, learn tailoring, fashion
Okay.
designing, that's how they call it. Learn decor, decoration, designs. So that's what they do. But I would say times are changing. And now the narrative is also changing and people are becoming more exposed. So we have lots and lots of people going into the universities for undergraduate education. And sometimes it's the money that deters people from going.
Is the boarding school, is that something that your parents pay for?
Yes, they pay
Okay.
for it.
But prior to that, it's paid for by the country? No,
No.
you actually have to pay for education all the way through.
Yes.
Wow.
Just that we have government schools and private schools, and government schools are more affordable. So it's
But you
just,
still pay.
You still
There's
pay.
still a cost for that.
You still pay. But for some time now, we've had the free senior high school education system where high school education is free in Ghana for some
Okay.
time now. I think it's been about 8 years or so. I'm not.
But a huge change on that step
huge
up
change.
to another level.
Yes. So now more people, both rural and urban, are able to afford education because they don't necessarily have to pay for it.
Tell me this, you must have known, what was the motivation that you wanted to attend school away from your country for college?
So when I was done with my undergraduate studies, I thought to myself, okay, I just want to be done with my mandatory national service, get a job, and start giving my parents the life I want to give them. I feel they've done their best. They've taken me to school up to undergrad. They need to relax. And if I'm ever going to do a master's, then I want a paid for, a funded master's, because I don't want my parents to pay for it. I don't want to burden them. And that was it. And I realized I was not going to get a local scholarship to do that. I had friends in the US at the time who were talking to me as at 2021 into 2022. And they started recommending schools to me. Hey, this school is offering a program in communication. Do you want to try it? I look at it and I'm like, no, I don't like this program. No, I don't like that. No, I don't like it. So one day, I think early 2022, they sent me a link to the website of Eastern New Mexico University. And I clicked on it, spent days on the website, trying to understand everything I'm seeing. And then I spent some time to look at the graduate coordinator. And I'm like, okay, this is the program I want. And this is the person I want to be mentored by. So I'm applying to Eastern New Mexico University. And that's how come I ended up here.
How nice is that? Did you do your bachelor's in Ghana?
Yes, I did my bachelor's.
Okay, so you did your bachelor's there. And then the master's is where? And how long have you been in the U.S.?
August 21st. This year was exactly 1 year.
Okay.
So I've been here for a year.
Okay. And the process of being able to attend of an international school, can you walk me through that?
Yes, I can, but different schools have different requirements. So I'll speak to Eastern.
Okay.
Because that is the only school I applied to. So the requirements for me in communication was a statement of purpose. I didn't need recommendation letters. So I needed a proof of financial declaration. I needed to evaluate my transcript, so transcript evaluation. Because I didn't have the US standard test scores, I had to do that transcript evaluation to get the standard.
Like the comparable of what you had in your country versus here.
Yes. So I did that. And then the next thing was to SOP, proof of funding, transcript, those were the major things. And then after I had submitted them to the graduate school, it went through the international office, then to the Department of Communication. So Dr. Dobson got in touch with me. And then I also went back to her and be like, do you have a graduate assistantship available? Because it will help me fund my education while I'm in the US. And she says, yes, I can. I have a spot for you. I can just throw one in for you. So she sent me a letter of funding to support my application. Then I updated my proof of financial declaration form, and then I sent it back to the school. They gave me admission as at June 2022, which was more like we were getting closer to the start of the fall.
Right.
So yeah, that was it. And you go into the visa phase of it, where you pay a visa fee of $160.
Okay.
And then you pay a service fee. That's more like a student exchange. I've forgotten the rest of the
the acronym of what that stands for.
I just remember the student exchange. And that's about $360 or $350. So you make all these payments just to be able to book an interview date and go for an interview. And even that, it's hard to get a date.
So to even get the interview is tough. And I believe you told me the exchange rate is somewhere in the vicinity of $16, 16 in Ghana.
In Ghana, yeah.
To $1 in US. So a huge discrepancy in that exchange rate.
And at the time, I spent all the little savings I had from my 1.5 years of working on that.
On just that application, all the fees to actually get that interview.
Fees. I spent all that.
So you get the interview. You make it through that. I
get the interview. I make it through that. And I go and they deny me.
Oh.
I was denied on 2nd August 2022.
That's in your mind.
I remember. Every year I'm going to say it. I remember it. They denied me. And all that money goes away. You don't get it back. None of it. So I was back to square zero.
So you were denied. So what was the next step?
I was denied. I had to get back to the school, let them know that I didn't get a visa, because the only way I can come into the country It's when I have a visa.
With that permission to travel.
Exactly. So Dr. Dobson says, okay, there's a spring opening. You can start online if you want to. And then I tell her, I can't pay for it. I don't have the money to pay for it. And she says, hey, kiddo, don't worry about the payment. So, Easton has the ENMU Foundation scholarships.
Right.
And it is only given to active students, people who are already in school. So because I started in the spring, I had the opportunity to apply for the foundation scholarships.
Very nice.
And by applying, Dr. Dobson made sure the Department of Communication gave me a scholarship in addition to the GA offer she gave me. And that's how come I was confident to, finish up my study in the spring online and then further go through the process of working towards coming into the US to continue my education. So that's actually what happened.
So Dr. Dobson was truly that person that was your anchor to get you to this point. I think she's touched a lot of people's lives and just a very phenomenal lady.
Yeah.
But so, and then there's restrictions, right? When you get here of where you can work and how you can make money.
Exactly.
So
exactly. It's more like before you come, they let you know, hey, you are on an F1 visa, and these are the terms and conditions. If you agree, you abide by them. If you don't, then don't come at all, because you will have to obey the law.
Right.
You have to go by what the law says. So with some of the restrictions, the students or the international students has to, or is confined to working within only the school community, unless under very rare instances that you'll be given the opportunity to work outside the school premises. So you work on school 20 hours a week during the academic year.
Right, that's all that's allowed through the university.
Yeah, and then during other days, like the summertime, you get to work 39 hours a week just to get some money for yourself. And you can't go beyond it.
Right.
You dare not.
Right.
Because most institutions here wouldn't even allow you to. They are strict on that.
Right. Yeah. I know there's mandates when I worked in the payroll part here. When you go past 39 hours, you have to follow.
It's strict. And then because we are confined to work on the school campus, imagine my friends in science. Throughout the summer, they had to work in the library. It is an experience. I like it for them, but it doesn't give them any skill because they don't get to do something that's
in their field.
Exactly. So I was very fortunate to be here at the TV, KNW TV, and I'm very thankful that I was given the opportunity to work here because I am doing something in my field. It is something I can put on my CV any day, anytime, but they cannot.
Because it helped them financially, but it didn't help them to give any type of experience within that field. Yeah. That's true. That's true. We don't realize all the challenges for somebody that isn't from this country of how much harder it is to get things going. So probably not the lots of high dollar groceries through all this.
I know.
And so truly the reasoning you felt like the U.S., why the U.S. versus Ghana to stay just here, just that challenge and a new experience?
Yes. So for me, I like to talk for me because
right, you can't talk about anybody else.
At a point, even in my application, the reason I chose Eastern was because I wanted to major in all the majors in communication. And I realized that when I come here, I can do that. So even though I'm focusing on media in communication, but I have the chance to learn broadcast journalism and broadcast production just by volunteering here at the KNW TV. And then I got to found the Public Relations Society because Dr. Dobson just likes the fact that I started my own NGO in Ghana where I was helping young adults transition from one phase of their lives to the other with regards to education. So she said, okay, then you have to found this club. Let's get this thing going for other students to get to meet industry personnel who expose them to industry knowledge and skills when it comes to public relations. So I got to found that, and then public relations, I get to practice it. Right. I get to meet industry personnel. So this is the kind of future I had imagined for myself here at Eastern.
And you've built the program.
Exactly. I feel like I am in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing, exact thing I imagined. So this is it for me. I just wanted a place, and it happens to be here at Eastern in America. So it wasn't more like I wanted to come to America. No, I had a goal, and the opportunity
Wow. Well,
came this way.
and talk about a nice thing to have on a resume to show that you were busy and worked in your industry and you built something and started it on your own.
Exactly.
Wow. Well, we're lucky to have you here. So.
Thank you. I'm also happy that I have you with me.
For sure. Well, let's talk about the visa challenges, but you said the restrictions as well. But you didn't always look at that as maybe a little more of an opportunity, or you talked about that. It gives you a chance to grow.
Yes, it is. It is a challenge. There are restrictions to it, but then, like I said, I had a goal. I am looking for something, and that thing is out there. So what do I have to do? I have to strive for it. I have to go for it. And then it is life. You don't expect life to always be rosy. No, right. There are highs and lows, and you owe it to yourself to go for every one of the things you want. And as a believer, I also believe that it is God's will for me to have the things that I want for myself. So I have to put in the work. Mm-hmm. I have to step forward to it. So that's just what I had to do. I had to keep going at it. I was denied once. I ran out of money. I had to stay at home without work for a period of time. I started afresh, started online, trying to do work in school. I had to stop the work midway because I realized it was not giving me the space to really give my master's program the kind of effort I wanted to put in, because I just want to learn. I want to learn it so much that I can become it. So,
and if it was easy, it's kind of like being in a slow heat and track.
Exactly.
You don't push yourself and you win. Exactly. But when you get to the fast heat, you don't do as well. So those challenges truly strengthen you for when life gets tough.
Yeah, and you never know how far you can get if you don't keep going at it. Because if I had not applied to Eastern, the worst they could have said is, I'm sorry, we could not admit you. We had a lot of, that's the worst they could have said. They weren't going to beat me, or nobody was going to hold me accountable for not making it through admission process. But I did it. And it's a risk because most international students apply to 3, 4, 5, 6 schools before they can get one that will fully fund them or 2 that will fully fund them. But here I was.
God had his hand in this.
God had a hand in it. I knew God wanted me to go for it. So when I saw the right person and the right program in one place,
just doors kept opening up.
Exactly.
And the opportunities, and you just feel that peace. Tell me 3 things in your country that you absolutely love, like whether that's entertainment or foods, things like that.
So I like the liveliness in my country, because in as much as I like to stay indoors, I still like to open my door because I want to know there's somebody passing by. I want to hear the sound or the honk of a car. I want to feel life around me. So there's life all around. This place is so quiet. This place feels like a cemetery.
And when I travel, it's all the noise that drives me insane. I want the quiet. Okay. That gives me the peace. And
I see. So I like the liveliness of, and I like different cultures. So you don't get to see one thing. You get to see different things. You get to do different things. You get to experience different things and different people. And I am so much heavy on experience and exposure. I like different things. And then I like the entertainment bit of it. Because we have drumming and dancing is a big part of our culture. So we like to do a lot of entertainment when it comes to songs, drums, and music. Seriously. And these are the things I miss from time to time.
And probably the foods as well.
Yes, the food. But I try to slow down the food because even though they are more expensive here, I can still afford 1 or 2. So I can still get to eat some of the foods here. But
well, we're running short on time. But tell me, what is your goal? What do you see yourself like quickly in 5 years? What do you want to do?
Okay, so my long-term goal now is to advance into public administration and policy development. I aim to pursue a PhD in the fall of 2025. I'm already working on my applications, and
Good for
then
you.
where I can spend a significant amount of time honing my skills, expanding my knowledge in communication so that I can make informed and effective policies should I find myself in that space. But aside that, I want to host my own show as well, travel around the world with relief projects with both local and international partnerships for other
Awesome.
young people.
Well, we'll have to check back with you and see where life's at in a year or two.
I will be glad to do that.
Charity, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
And to all of you watching, thank you. We will see you next time. Cheers.